I've chased hundreds of platinum trophies across my PlayStation journey, dedicating countless hours to some challenging and some not so challenging games. But what if I told you not every win felt really like a victory? In this video I'm going to be going back, way back, and I'm going to look at the best and worst platinum trophy I earned every year since I've been a trophy hunter since 2017. So it's August 2025 and I'm currently sitting around 518 plats, so we're going to have to go way back. Look at this mess these days. Holy moly. I ain't platinum in as many games as I used to. And that's going to become very apparent when this thing gets going, let me tell you that. So 2017 is where it all began. I decided to say goodbye to my Xbox One and swap it for a PlayStation 4. I was a PS2 boy and then I went to Xbox 360. You know, Gears and Halo, what can I say? And then I kind of just stuck with Xbox until I found out that it was going to be a Spider-Man game. And I am a Spider-Man boy. Spider-Man boy, tattoo, upside down, but you know, Spider-Man boy. And I was like, I need to play this game, it looked incredible, and it was. So in preparation for that, I was like, I'm going to just change early. And when I was on Xbox, I did enjoy Xbox achievements, and I did really try my best to go for them, but I kind of had the mindset of like, I would always try and get like 600, 700, or like 100 gamer score more than just beating the game, and then I didn't really go for the 100% because it just felt excessive and I didn't like collectibles, to be honest. But when I moved to a PlayStation, I was like, I'm gonna try and like beat every game. I'm gonna try and like keep my Xbox as my main account, but then just have this PlayStation account which just has like all the plats and 100%, and I did okay. So looking at this, I actually only earned 2 platinum trophies in 2017. So deciding the best and worst isn't going to be that difficult. I earned 2 platinum trophies, one of which was Infamous Second Son, and the other one was My Name is Mail. God, I started so strong. My trophy hunting journey couldn't have started any better. On those games, as much as I would like to say My Name is Mail is the best platinum trophy I earned that this year, it definitely wasn't. It definitely wasn't. Infamous Second Son was a game I'd wanted to play for a long time back in 2017. Like, superhero game, there wasn't really anything like it on Xbox. There was Prototype, which was still a good game, but Infamous just looked a lot better, and it is, I think I enjoyed it a lot more than I did enjoy Prototype. It was a great introduction to the PlayStation PS4 and what I was going to be looking forward to. My Name is Mail, however, just kind of set the precedent for me that platinum trophies can be earned quite quickly and without much effort. 42 minutes. Yeah. I don't have much to say about 2017. Really, it was only a month. But 2018, however, my first platinum was Uncharted 2. And I didn't get the 100%, I just did the platinum trophy. And this is what started playing a lot of bad games. This was like before I started YouTube in 2020, right? And I spent my previous years just like sweating games, like sweating disgusting games that were just for the platinums. Like, remember Slide, 18-second platinum trophy? That was clearly £2 well spent. So when I started making videos in 2020, I was like, I need to describe how these games make you feel and give them a name. And that's why I started calling them, back in the day, grubby platinum trophies, because you just feel you feel dirty. You've got like this internal voice when you play them where you just like, it's done, you put the game down, and there's just this voice being like, you dirty boy. This was not worth it. You've just like completely cheated this platinum trophy. There's not an accomplishment. Go wash. And that's how I kind of started calling grubby platinum trophies, which is a throwback. I mean, this whole video is a throwback. I'm looking at 2018 thinking like, there was some good games here, don't get me wrong, but there was also a lot of like games I just played for the platinums. Adam's Venture was just the worst Uncharted ripoff ever. And then a lot of these, Infamous First Light was good. The Order 1886 was surprisingly good, I enjoyed it. And I have always enjoyed Telltale games, and they're obviously easy platinum, so I was like, yeah, sign me up for that bad boy. Of course I did Uncharted 3, which I think is the weakest of all the Uncharted games. It gets a bit bonkers towards the end, and it pulls a few of its punches, you know. It's kind of like, oh, did this happen? Oh no, it was all in your head, bro. Just so many tragic games in this list. It's going to be hard to kind of pick out the worst. And I'm not sure what the best will be either, looking at these, because I did play God of War, which was obviously we all know God of War is a great game. L.A. Noire as well. Oh, that game, it doesn't hold up quite as well at the time when it came out, like 2013. Like, all these facial expressions were like so out of this world, they were so different. And now they're a bit like blatant. You'd be like, oh, did you do it? And you'd be like, no. Are you sure? He's like, no. I feel like if you're being interviewed by the police, you don't be making them faces. I didn't do anything. Oh, my eyes are gonna explode. Right, but yeah. So in this year, actually, I earned 72 platinum trophies, I think, give or take, because I've had to manually count these, and I've went through it 4 times now, and I couldn't quite get to 518. So you know, these are estimates. 72ish, 75ish is how many I earned, and as you know, wasn't that many memorable games in this year. I'm not gonna lie. This was the year when generally, obviously, I've been playing video games for like 26 years now, and I think this was just like a new thing to me. These platinum trophies, I was like, wow, I can just like smash so many games and just see my name just fly up this leaderboard, because it was like literally every platinum was like moving you up like 5,000 spaces in the leaderboard when you're like in the bottom 2, when you're like 6 millionth. I'm pretty sure by the end of the first year on the leaderboards I went from like 7 millionth to like top 500,000 or something stupid like that. There's a lot of dumb games here, I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot of dumb games. I think the best game that I played this year was probably Deadpool.
Yeah, no, it's really not.
Do you think anyone would notice if I just left you here?
They'll know.
It is such a fantastic game, and I always get comments being like, you can't play it now because you can't buy it, and the game itself is like £70 or something crazy now because it's just so rare. It's a quite challenging platinum trophy. It's not really hard. It's like a 6 out of 10 potentially. You just kind of have to beat the game on the hardest difficulty, and the last level is disgustingly hard, but it's a hack and slash. But Nolan North's Deadpool is genuinely hilarious. Generally, Nolan North was born to do Deadpool in video games, and I've been playing Midnight Suns lately, and he has reprised his role of Deadpool, and seeing him voice him again is it's beautiful, and just reminds you like how good Nolan North is as a voice actor, and he just fits that role perfectly. In terms of worst games, like obviously you would say that Slide would probably be the worst game I earned. There's some really funny games here actually, to be fair, but looking at this, I think the worst game I played actually, I was going to say Testagrad, but it's not because it's actually the worst game by far. It was the worst experience for me, and that was because I went into it playing it for the wrong reasons. I generally went in because I wanted to get a platinum, and I read that it was quite easy, and I was getting through it, and I just got stuck on this platforming bit, and I don't really like platformer games, and I don't like 2D platformer games, purely because I played them as a kid to the ends of the earth, you know, like when you have a Game Boy and you've only got Mario and you're like 8, you just play it over and over again. So I find them like a bit unfulfilling. I think there's not enough depth to them for me to really enjoy them. And this game is got beautiful artwork. It's not a bad platformer, but I went in wanting to beat it in 2 hours, and it took us like 6. I remember like the worst 2 hours ever just trying to do this platforming bit. And that's not to say it is the worst game, because there's like, you know, Slide, Little Adventure on the Prairie, some terrible games, but I think for me at that time it was like the worst experience because I played it for the wrong reasons. Alright, so you might have already thought, Jesus, this guy was playing some horrific games in 2018, an absolute chump. 2019 is way worse. 2019 is I think it's the worst year. In 2019 I earned 135 platinum trophies, which is 1 every 3 days. It's just generally disgusting. I'm going to give a special honorable mention to the game called Drowning, which is literally this game about like mental health and depression, and about this guy like trying to overcome something, and I was just like walking through it, ignoring all the chat and stuff, just because I only wanted to beat it and get the platinum trophy. And I did it twice as well. I was just like, I'm not even listening to this. I'm just like walking. It was literally walking simulator. You just walked forward, but it was like trying to like give you this like grounded experience around like mental health. And I was just like, nah, keep going, son. And I don't need to read this. Just walking forward, just holding forward on my phone. Just like, nah, I'll get a platinum. These were some interesting times. Grand Ages Medieval was the first game I ever boosted with strangers. Ever. So it's a 2.41% rarity. I do like strategy games. I do like strategy games quite a lot, and you have to do some online stuff, and I think I just went on the PSNP forums and found somebody. It was an okay experience. I did enjoy that game, and it was probably my first ultra rare platinum. Of course, I did go and do Marvel Spider-Man, so it came out late 2018. It's saying January 2019 because I imagine I did all the DLC, or I waited to finish the game. I think I probably waited for the DLC, all the DLC to come out or something before I beat it all. Obviously, Marvel Spider-Man is one of the best games I've ever played. It's kind of like Skyrim to me, in the sense of Skyrim is really, really close to my heart. I'm the Dragon Bone. Look at the Dragon Bone. This is what Dragon Ball looks like. This is what Dragon Bone looks like. Yeah. I am Dragon Bone. My name is Ligma Balls. it was just a great experience. You know, it was like an RPG that me and my friend played, and we're like basically like camped outside the store to get it, and then we basically like walked home because we couldn't afford to buy a bus, and it was like 9 miles, and then we played it like for like 25 hours straight. It was a great experience, and Marvel Spider-Man for me was that as well. I remember just sitting down and just hearing the music and starting the game and being like, this is gaming. This is a game, baby. This is just my childhood into the best Spider-Man game. I did actually platinum PS VR Worlds in January 2019, and that is the rarest platinum I still have to this day. It is, hello Dex, it is a very, very challenging game, and some of the mini games are brutal. That's so challenging. You like there's one like called Danger Ball where you use your head as a ping pong racket and you're just bouncing this ball back and be like this, go. You're basically getting concussion when you're doing it. Well, not concussion, but you're getting pretty dizzy. Like, you know, your ears are like all over the place. It's like literally the ball's going so fast. You're just like, whoa. It was it was really hard to get this trophy. You only had to last like 8 minutes. It took us like generally about 20 hours to do this one trophy because it was just moving so fast and my brain just couldn't comprehend it. But I did get quite a good sense of achievement. Now let's find the worst game I played. There's just so many of them. Like, I just played so many of these games. I was just like literally in the community, looking at the top people's trophy lists who were just obviously playing them all as well, and just smashing them and just picking them and buying them. And I even tried, this is the year when I actually started doing region stacking on the PS Vita as well. So like, you know, you could buy a game on the EU store and play it on the Vita, and then you could buy it on NA and then play it on the NA Vita account. But to do it, you had to kind of like do something with your account to like, I can't remember what it was. Essentially, like, because you were account sharing, it was really weird. You had to like wipe your PS Vita every time you wanted to do it. I didn't do it all the time, but maybe I did it the year after. There is some atrocious games on this list though. Oh, Last of Us Remastered as well though. Oh, you know, there's a lot of rubbish games here, but that was a great platinum. I did 100% for that as well. The online, I did the grounded mode. I still love this game so much. It is still one of the best games I've ever played, and I liked this trophy list more than the remaster that came out on PS5, whatever, Last of Us Part 1, because playing it on the difficulties that you had to play it on were brutal, and it did change the game. This is like one of the only games where like you it's a little like Uncharted, kind of Naughty Dog vibe in the sense that playing the game on normal is different to playing it on the hardest difficulty. Like, if you play Uncharted on the easiest difficulty, it's literally like you're in an Indiana Jones film where you're just like unkillable and you're doing everything, whereas playing on the hardest difficulty and you're like more of an assassin, having to like be really careful, and there's really difficult parts. And that's the same with this. The game isn't scary when you're on normal, but when you play on grounded, it is horrific, and you just don't want to fight. And you don't even want to fight the humans. You spend a lot of time just sneaking past them and running past them because it just isn't worth it, because you'll just die. And that's very much a great vibe. That's the vibe the game it kind of is. It's like everything in this game, in this world, is dangerous, and you take your chances when you try and fight any of them. And I think that's what makes The Last of Us Remaster's Platinum so good, because you have to kind of experience the game in so many different ways to actually beat the game. And it's like, you know, there's not many games where difficulty makes the experience, obviously the difficulty makes the game harder and makes you experience the game slightly differently, but it's like playing two separate games generally when you play it on the hardest difficulty. All right, there's a lot of dumb games on here. I don't think I could even pick one this year. Like, Jesus, man. Like, Days Gone 100%, that was brutal for me personally. I think, you know, that is a good game. That is a prime example of when you endlessly grind out trophies, it completely sours your last few memories of the game, because I beat the game and I thought this was pretty cool, and the zombie horde mechanics were genuinely insane. They were incredible, and there just wasn't enough of them. You had to play like 10 hours to face one of them, and then like kind of like the back stack towards the end of the game. But I then went for the New Game Plus, which is like on harder difficulty, no fast travel, and it only takes like 30 hours, but I was just playing the game and just kind of soured it for myself. However, I am excited for Days Gone 2, and would I play the remaster of Days Gone? Probably. Would I pay £60? Probably not, but I would play it and I would enjoy it. It is a good game. I didn't think this video through. It's just too many. All right. There's too many dumb games in this list. My God. Right. It's actually a bit harsh, you know, but some of these games, like, they put the quick platinums on just to get sales. So, you know, they've been made with a really small indie team, and it's an achievement for them that they've actually went on and created this game. And then they've kind of figured out that if you put an easy platinum on, you're probably looking at like an extra 2, 3, 4, 5,000 sales on an indie game. That's a lot. And it's kind of like, oh yes, I'm saying these are the worst games, but obviously I played a lot of them for the wrong reasons. I just wanted the platinum. And some of them were generic and some of them were okay, and they were all made in a small budget. I mean, later down the line, there was companies that came out that just made games for platinums, and they were horrific, and we'll get into some of them. But these games, they all felt like games. They all felt like games. Someone had made a game, and they were proud of it, but they put a quick platinum on just to boost their sales, and I don't blame them for that, because, you know, I would probably do the same if I'd spent a year of my life, me and a friend, making a video game, and then, you know, you can sell 1,000 copies or 5,000 by just putting an easy trophy list on. I totally get it. Alright, here we go. This is one. Tower of Dragonasia. This game, 6 minutes to platinum. You literally just go on it, put some cheats in, play the game for 5 minutes and get the platinum. And that was just like, said it all about where I was at that time. Oh, you know, it's gonna get better, but we've got quite a bit more of this this disgusting trophy list to get through. So, you know, you've got to just bear with us, alright? Okay, Spider-Man was my best platinum. My best platinum was Spider-Man, though. My worst platinum was Tower of Dragonasia. What was the game even about? I don't remember. I couldn't tell you, bro. Couldn't tell you. 2020. The year that we all survived. The year that our grandkids are going to be like, I can't believe you survived this. What did you do? How did you get over it? And I'd be like, well, I just sat around and had 130 platinum trophies. It was tough, alright? It was a struggle. You know, we all had to make sacrifices. I had to really, like, you know, grind out some of these games. I didn't want to play, like, you know, it was a hard year. I am a hero. Yeah, I am a hero. Yes, that's right. That's right, little Timmy. It's clear when I'm looking at this list that what I would do is I would start a big game that's going to take anywhere from 30 to 50 to 100 hours. But I would play these easy games in between. So, like, I imagine half my time was dedicated towards this one game, but then the other half of my gaming time was dedicated to easy platinums. But because you could do literally in a 4-hour session, you could do 2 of these platinums. You know, it looks like you've done absolutely loads, but it's like, I know I was working on other games. I was clearly working on Ancestor Legacy and Star Wars Fallen Order. Probably while I was playing the games at the end of 2019, and then I did them all at the end. And this is Ancestor Legacy is an RTS, a real-time strategy game, a really good game. I really enjoyed it. It's like a Viking game, pretty good. My first platinum, and then we've got a load of Droll Up again. Oh, One Night Stand. That game was funny. That was literally a game where you just had a one night stand with someone. And you had to try and get to know her and figure out what her name was and stuff. You know, like, who is this woman? Who knows? And then what engine are you gonna get? Is she gonna kick you out of the house, or, you know, are you gonna have a 2-night stand? You know, the options. It was endless. The possibilities. What you could have achieved. God. So yeah, it was a pretty dumb game though. Pretty bad game. 84% rarity platinum trophy. God damn. Not as bad as Bucket Night though, which had a 92.26% platinum. I know how to pick them. Alright. These games are all pretty just, yeah. Pretty grim. I say that, you know, I'll play a game while I would play a bigger game. While I'm working on that, I would play easier games. But then looking at this month, looking at like, from May onwards, I wasn't even playing it. I just went on it. I just sweated it. Obviously, we were at home at this point. I just didn't even play another game. I just played. Oh my god, I must have earned about 30 platinum trophies in May. And then I thought round out by just doing Spyro 3, you know, for a real difficult game. That went straight on the grind of dumpers. And Borderlands 2, that was a slog for me. You can see, actually, there you go. Look, it took 7 months for me to 100% Borderlands 2. So I must have been playing that game like throughout all of 2020. So that must have been the game I was working on while I was playing all of these games. And to be honest, I liked Borderlands 1 when I played it. Borderlands 2, I enjoyed it a lot until I had to start getting the platinum. And it's a good game series. I know people have a few mixed experiences on the later ones. I haven't played them. It's an okay looter shooter. I'm not a big fan of first-person shooters. I'm not a big fan of first-person looter shooters. So it was okay, like, but the platinum was very grindy towards the end. I just got very sick of it. But however, despite all of these disgusting platinum trophies that I just bought for the hell of it, the worst platinum trophy I did was Resident Evil 6. The platinum trophy is not too hard. It's like 40 hours, but the DLC is just like online, and I had to boost it, and I haven't boosted that many online games that are endless, that, you know, you're going to go on and play 200 games, because the online was so dead you literally couldn't get a game, and yet like win and do all these other things, and it was just vile. Okay, so this game, yeah, it's actually not too hard, the actual base game, I don't think, going off my memory. For 60 hours, it's quite slow. You got to play the game quite a few times. But some of these trophies, like the DLC, 30 hours for, you know, 6 trophies. Okay, that's still, you know, 46 hours. And then this one, 50 hours for trophies for DLC. Like, some people say that you shouldn't have DLC trophies. I actually think DLC should have trophies, 100%. Because the thing about DLC is, it's made for you, people who love the game and want to play more, and it extends the experience for them, and it means that if it's a game you love and you got a platinum, you can go get the DLC and you have another 20-30 hours of gameplay with the game. And if you don't like it, you can leave it and really complain about your completion percentage, because this DLC you don't want to do is the most first world problem you can actually truly have. This is basically when I started YouTube. I started YouTube in like May 2020. Yeah, because I remember doing like a video on Resident Evil 6 and doing a video on Tom Clancy's Breakpoint. I mean, God, can't bring myself to watch them. Avengers, I've seen even footage of it recently, and people are kind of like singing its praises a little bit more. I hated it at the time. But, it was 5 years ago. Like, I'm a different person now to what I was then, clearly. I ain't doing any of these plats now. Like, I've matured. But also, like, I think I'm more forgiving with games now. And a lot of time I think I can be really harsh on games, to be fair. I'm more harsh when the games are immoral and they're just, like, riddled with microtransactions to fleece people. I think that's an ethical, moral issue I hate. But in terms of game quality, you're more like, I feel sorry for them more than anything. I'm like, people who made Marvel's Avengers, like, come on, the studio meddling basically made them spend 3 years of their life working on a game that everyone hates, and the developers probably knew it wasn't going to be the game they wanted to make, or the game that people wanted, and they just had to make it anyway. I'm struggling to find the best trophy of this year, I'm not going to lie. I don't think this year was horrific for me, I actually think this is the worst year that I had for gaming, because I barely played games other than these horrible games. I literally probably can count about 5 games I played. Batman Arkham Asylum, Marvel, Borderlands. Yeah, like pretty nasty stuff. Like, like Chicken on a Road, like horrific games. Yeah, it's really bad. Yeah, I think the best platinum's got to be Borderlands 2. And I didn't enjoy it that much. So I'm actually, I'm just have to go to Batman Arkham Asylum. Batman Arkham Asylum was the best platinum I did in that year. It was tough, it was fun, it's obviously still, even today, one of the best superhero games ever made. And I think, yeah, okay, I'm okay with that. I can take that. It was a very weak year for me, though. Okay, so 2021. I'd been going a little bit of plat, bro. I think I'd hit my first 1,000 subscribers. I think me and Guy Fruski had met, started our little relationship, or our podcast had began. I was in the early stages of the podcast. I was talking like, he was like, I'm working on my backlog. I think on the first couple episodes of the podcast, he was working on his backlog. Bear in mind, that was 4 years ago. 4.5 years ago, he just released a video being like, my backlog. It's like, bro, you've been on this for 4 years, man. Come on. It's not even a backlog anymore. It's like a graveyard. All right, it's a graveyard, man. You gotta move on. So the PS5 came out in late 2020. Very hard to get a hold of. I used to have this live tracker on YouTube. People had them all over because of the scalping, and it told you when they were in stock. Because I was queuing, I could never get it. I finally got one. I didn't pre-order it, and it was a big mistake when I could have got it anyway. Didn't get it till March. Played Astro's Playroom, and then I went on to do a hard game because of having conversations with Guy Fruski. I was like, I'm going to try a Soulsborne game. So we tried, and we beat Bloodborne. Big achievement. I did Elden Ring. I've done Elden Ring recently. Well, a couple of years ago now. I'm playing Night Rain now. Elden Ring was fantastic. Elden Ring is just an incredible game through and through. It's an incredible RPG. It's an incredible Soulsborne game. I liked Bloodborne. I did struggle, and I did have to watch guides on how to beat certain bosses. I kept getting lost, and I think certain aspects of it was kind of ruined for us because I kind of like, I got lost, and I just had to like Google it and figure it out, and I really gave myself the time. Whereas when I came to Elden Ring, especially because I was playing a lot of it with Guy Fruski, we were just kind of off exploring and just getting lost and having a good time, and I had a better experience because of that. But that was my own fault. I was quite intimidated by Bloodborne, I'm not gonna lie. And because of that, I used the easiest weapon. I used the easy strats to get through it. It was difficult, especially the Chalice dungeon, was it, with Amygdala at the end. That was brutal. And that one of the hunters, that was like really difficult, really frustrating. It took us like 8 hours to beat Amygdala. Like in that dungeon, we have half health. But I'm happy I did it, and I did enjoy doing it. Again, not great. Yeah, like I'm trying to think. I did Drowning again though. I did it again on PS5 and they released it on PS5. This game, so Alien Destroyer, right? This game is what made kind of a change for me. All right, this game was like £1, and it was glitched on PS5. Whereas so basically on PS5, you moved slower. It was a bug in it where you moved about a quarter of the speed that you did in the PS4 version, which meant the last boss, bear in mind the whole run, it took you like 10 minutes to get the platinum. The last boss would fire bullets, but you could never move to evade them, and he would one-shot you, and I was like, this is a bit weird. And then I didn't understand why, and then I literally had to go to my brother's house, download my PlayStation account onto his PS4 to then do it. I was like, oh, this is easy. Literally, I'm just walking past the bullets. And literally, I was like, this is not worth it. What am I doing? I think this was a big realization for me. This is definitely the worst plat I did this year. And this is when it started to, like, I did start to slow down. I think this is the last year, I think, where I did loads of them. I definitely, maybe the second last year, but some had definitely started to change, where I was like, it's not really worth it. And I started doing shorter games that were still easy, but they were fuller games. So, for example, I did, like, Star Wars Republic Commando. You know, it wasn't a hard game, but it took like 4 days to beat. Did Realm from the Ashes, which I actually preferred way more than Bloodborne. I'm not gonna lie, way more than Bloodborne. I loved that game. And then Diablo 3 was the first over-the-top game I played in a long time, and it started off something. I was like, I love these over-the-top isometric games. It started something within me, and I was like, right, okay. And it was just pathing the way for us to start playing League of Legends all these years earlier. You know, and then there's some good platinums here, I'm not gonna lie. Mountain Blade Warband, I did it with someone called Deadman, and he reached out because I wanted to do it. I played this game so much, alright? This game came out ages ago. I had it on Xbox. Remember, like, when I finished uni in, like, 2017, it was like a month period where I was, like, unemployed. I was, like, you know, I was applying for jobs and stuff, and I used to literally just go to the gym, get back at, like, 11 o'clock, and just apply for, like, 2 jobs, and then, like, 1 o'clock, play this game for, like, 12 hours straight, every day, for a month. It was amazing. And I loved it. I was like, I could never get the plat though. It's disgusting. Loads of online matches. And then he was like, I'll do it with you. I was like, oh, right, okay. And we just had to like take turns killing each other. I was like, he'd be on a horse and I have to like shoot him on the head 100 times and he'd do it to me. It was one of the biggest online boosts I've ever done, but it's 0.94% rarity. And the game is fantastic. That's the best platinum, because that's one of the best platinums I've ever done. Yeah, Mountain Blade Warband is the best platinum I did in that year, and the worst is definitely that Alien Destroyer piece of dump. Quick shout out though, at the end of the year, I did Hades, which I found absolutely incredible, to the point of I was actually been thinking about doing the PS4 stack. I thought Hades 2 was out on the PlayStation, still not out yet, but I have been looking at it on Steam. I generally thought that game was absolutely incredible. It was like just a fantastic roguelite. Very, very good roguelite game. And also special shout out again, Battle Remnant from the Ashes. That DLC was actually genuinely disgusting. Okay, so into 2022. Okay, I did some interesting games in this one. I had played some really good games. I started making a lot more videos on the games at this point. I was starting to, develop my own editing style with delivery of these like story-like games. I did some good platinums. You can see it does slow down. So in fact, in 2021 I earned 70 plats. In 2022 I only earned 14 platinum trophies, which is very, very little. Literally, I just went Ghost of Tsushima, Untitled Goose Game, which is a good, easy game. I did Awesome P. It was one of the only games, the cheaper, like, platinum games, easy, grubby games that I actually enjoyed. So I went and did that. Hotline Miami, brutal game. It Takes Two, Outriders, FIFA, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, Last of Us, Part 1, Ghost Runner, didn't do the 100% though, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, My Name is Mayor 3, obviously, Chivalry 2, and Alien Fireteam Elite. But I actually didn't get the platinum until 2023, so we'll leave that for now. This was a good year. This was a good year game for me. I played some games that I loved. Firstly, Hotline Miami was really difficult. I underestimated how hard I was going to find this. I really tested my patience. Also, bear in mind as well that I have ADHD, and I had undiagnosed ADHD at this point, which meant that I found these quite frustrating and boring and just didn't stimulate me. I also went on to play Outriders. I loved Outriders. I don't remember if you've been watching this for a while. I simped for this game so goddamn hard for so long. So when I was talking about Borderlands 2 before, I said I don't really like first-person looter shooters, but I played Outriders 2, which is a third-person looter shooter, and I absolutely loved it. Genuinely, I loved it. A fantastic game. Last of Us Part 1, like, the remaster was absolutely godly. Chivalry 2 was some of the most fun I've had playing video games, and it's a 3.72% rarity. Chivalry 2 is the best platinum I did that year. Oh, look at Squeak, I'm running away from all the enemies. Bruh. He's only got one arm. Oh shit, man, what happened to your arm? Oh no. Run. And we were back defending the Duke. And Deadman returned like the MVP he is, with his favourite weapon to win us the game, the Holy Chair.
Oh, well, I have a chair.
Give me that chair. Nice. The worst platinum trophy I did by far was Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. It is grim. It just doesn't work. I don't know if it's been patched since, but I remember it just didn't work, and the trophies weren't tracking, they were bugged, and then the game just constantly crashed. And you had to do a speedrun trophy, and the game kept crashing on certain bosses, and the only way you get it to work was to go in your settings, to turn the resolution out to 720p, and it stopped the crashing by about half. And then the online trophies again, they would just bug out. You would literally be like, have to do a level, you had to do one level in co-op, I think, And it was basically, it took us like 5 hours to get through this 10-minute level because the game would just crash constantly. It was grim. Okay, so 2023, I earned around 30 platinum trophies this year, which was not bad. And this year I really jumped into the video making process, and I basically made a video on every game I played. And some of these videos did very well for me. Very well for the channel. Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, brutal. Probably still to this day, one of the hardest platinum trophies. Alien Fireteam Elite again. What a fun 3-person co-op game. Very, very difficult co-op game. You really, I don't know if you can now, but at the time I was like, there's no way I could ever do this by myself. You needed 2 people who were dedicated to the game to actually learn the levels. Because it was like, you know, the levels were quite short. They were like 25 minutes, and there's only like 12 of them. But they were so difficult. They got so much harder, and you had to beat them on the hardest difficulty. It was insanely hard. Of course, Elden Ring as well. X-Men Origins. Gotham Knights was underwhelming. And then, you know, I did some great games here. Football Manager was an experience. I do like a bit of football, don't get me wrong. Spider-Man 2, Metal Gear Solid, like, oh, just absolutely fantastic year for me. Like, it was getting better. Like, I was playing better games and better games and better games. Not every game was great. Of some of these, basically, I played this game, Lego Batman 3, for the wrong reasons, because literally this is when all the new channels started appearing, and there was literally just some like 17-year-old making a video about Platinum and Lego game getting like 10 million views. I was like, I should probably do one. I've never really liked Lego games. I liked them as a kid, and then I was like, there's not much here. The new one looks pretty insane. It's basically Arkham Asylum Lego, but you know, they've always lacked any sort of substance. Like just kids games through and through, and I tried to play it. It was brutal. Literally, it was like generally probably like 80 hours to get the Platinum. I hated it. Awful experience. This is a hard one for best Platinum, because Marvel Spider-Man 2 is not as good as the first one, but it's still fantastic. Metal Gear Solid was an experience for me. Like, you know, I got reached out, I got Konami wanted me to make a video on it. They gave me early access to it. They gave me, like, basically loads of cool stuff. They gave us a little box. I've still got my Metal Gear Solid box that they gave me. Just some great stuff, like, you know, they sent me some little Metal Gear pins, and they also sent me a little thank you from for doing the video and saying congratulations on being the first content creator to showcase and win the platinum trophy from Metal Gear Solid 1. It was a pleasure working with you. It was very nice working with them. I felt like I'd made it. Yeah, being offered that sponsorship from Konami and getting early access, I've generally felt like the channel that I'd been building as just some nerdy gamer. I was like, this is insane. Yeah, like to be approached by a company as big as Konami and given the opportunity to cover that game, and which as a paid sponsor as well. Like it was like a kind of, yeah, it was surreal. It was like a dream come true, generally, and the game itself is mind blowing how good it is. I never played Metal Gear Solid before. I never played any of them. I'd watched Adam McDermott's videos and that was it, and they looked fun but hard. Metal Gear Solid came out 28 years ago, and it's mad that it is better than a lot of games still. Like insanely good. Very difficult game, and I almost didn't get the platinum, and I almost gave up. Kind of got talked into doing one more run, and it was rough and tight, but we got there. I got stuck on the last boss so long, and I died as well. Like on the escape of the last level, I died, and you get like a 10-minute penalty. I hadn't done my saves right, because I think you only get 3 saves. I think, to be fair, Metal Gear Solid probably is the best platinum trophy I did, and also as well, the fact that I was the first achiever is still like a great thing as well. Like, yeah, so if you go to Platinum Club, there we go, look. I mean, I'm kind of a cheese because I did get early access, that's why I did it. But still, nonetheless, it's cool to say I was the first person ever to get a platinum trophy on a game. Worst was Lego Batman 3. Pretty poop. Alright, so 2024 was the easy games that had stopped now. I was like, am I doing this anymore? I was just wanting to make videos on games that I liked. That I thought were going to do well. So the first platinum was, I did 100% on Watch Dogs Legion, but I'd already done the platinum a while ago. The first platinum was actually Suicide Squad Kills Justice League. It was okay. It could have been better. It lacked a lot of content. It was basically, we were going to make it like Marvel's Avengers, and they just obviously changed it. But then I went on to play Helldivers. Oh, this year. Oh, what a year.
Join the Helldivers. Travel the galaxy. Visit the capitals. Meet unusual people. And represent the Federation. Spread managed democracy throughout the galaxy. Become more than you are. Become a hero. Become a legend.
Yes. Played Helldivers 1 and Helldivers 2. Helldivers 1, whoa, brutal, massive online grind. And then I did Helldivers 2, and Helldivers 2, generally, I still play it now. I play it like probably once a month. It is still one of my favourite games that I've ever played on PlayStation. And then I went out and played Tekken, and I made a full video covering every Tekken Platinum Trophy I could. The only one I didn't do was Tekken vs Street Fighter. I always thought, especially after doing Marvel vs Capcom Infinite, I don't like fighting games, but that's not the case. I don't like Street Fighter. I'm sorry, I just don't like the combat. I think it's really harsh. I think it's unforgiving, and it's just hard to grasp. I just don't grasp it well. Whereas on a Tekken has more combos, right? It's got, every character has hundreds of combos, but it's easier to pick up. You're not going to pick up 100 combos, but you can pick up like 10 combos. I wasn't really into it. Like when I played Tekken 6, I was like, this game's difficult. I played Miguel, who I loved. Miguel was not an easy fighter to pick up. It wasn't until Tekken 8, my god, I love this. Tekken 8 is the best fighting game I've ever played, which, I haven't played loads of them. I played like Dragon Ball Z games back in the day, and then a couple of Street Fighters. Tekken 8 is it's like leagues above Tekken 7. It is incredible. And I was like, this game is insane. Let's go, Victor. Then because of the fighting, I went and played Dead or Alive 6, which is like the Guna version of Tekken. And that was a very funny experience, and I enjoyed that as well a lot. It was funny. Fallout 76, Police Simulator again. Fallout 76 was fun but grindy. I didn't do it 100% because I just didn't have anything to do another playthrough. The game is actually really good. It's just the base game that when it came out, the platinum is tied to the base version of the game was all these boring missions where there's no NPCs. Whereas now the game is completely different, and it is actually a really good Fallout game. Really like it. I'm gonna throw loads of grenades at him.
Shit, I just repaired all this fucking armor.
Sick 'em, boy.
Get up! Ah!
I lost 50 caps for that.
Oh yeah, freeway to you, man. That's what we do. The base building, the house building is insane. The amount of time you can just spend messing around, doing the daily quests and just leveling up your house and stuff is insane. It's a really good game now. So the diseases are part of Fallout 76's survival mechanics. If you like survival mechanics, that's pretty good. If you don't like them, well, it's too bad because you cannot remove them. The survival mechanics are thirst, hunger, and of course being exposed to diseases and developing mutagens. There's 21 different diseases you can get in Fallout 76, and some of them do make sense, like rattle hands, which is for firing too much of one weapon. That makes sense. However, the diseases, they descend pretty quickly, and before you know it, you're getting diseases for doing literally the stupidest things and just making your way through the world. Oh, a flower. The worst plan probably was just Suicide Squad, Kills Justice League, just because it's a weird one, because the first 12 hours of the game, if the story is 15 hours long, the first 8 hours are really good. Really spent loads of budget on the cinematics and stuff, and then kind of like when you start getting going, it just becomes worse and worse, and then the end game is just horrific. It's so grindy. But I did love the traversal and the combat of the actual game. All the 4 characters played so differently, and obviously there's more now, but the 4 played so differently. I loved Boomerang, and I loved the traversal of Deadshot, but all of them were great. All of them, the traversal, the gameplay felt amazing. It's just like it just lacked quality and lacked content afterwards. But yeah, it was the worst. And that brings me on to the final year, 2025. I've only done 2 plats, just like the first 2017. We've gone full circle. I platinumed Smite 2 and I platinumed Elder Scrolls Oblivion. Damn it! Okay, my camera died yet again. This is the second video in a row. Overheated. I was chatting too long. So yeah, as I was saying, Smite 2 and Elder Scrolls Oblivion. If you've watched either of those 2 videos I've done, Oblivion was one of the best platinum trophies I've done in a long time. Mainly because I hadn't earned that many in 2024, but I just had such a good experience revisiting that game. It is just incredible. It's one of the best games. Just like Helldivers 2, one of the most memorable games. Tekken 8, Helldivers 2, Oblivion, just incredible. Smite 2 it's a good game. It's getting better. It came out and it's still in early access. The platinum trophy it wasn't a great experience because of how bad the matchmaking was, and I had to do a lot of it against AI just because I didn't want to get clapped for hundreds of games. So my best platinum for 2025 was Oblivion, and my worst plat was Smite 2. Take these headphones off. So yeah, that's kind of the best and worst platinums that I've earned in my entire time of trophy hunting since 2017. 8 years. It's been a wild journey, and I hope you can see, like, during it, like, the progression of me as a gamer. I think we all change. We all change as people. I'm not the same person I was in 2022, let alone 2020, let alone 2017. You know, we're talking 8 years ago. I was only like 24. 3 then. Yeah, 23 back then. That was a long time ago. Been through a lot of different things in my life, some of which were not fun, but you know, they molded me into this terrible person I am right now. So let me know how long you've been trophy hunting for and what your best and worst platinum trophies for each year you've been trophy hunting. You'll find it quite an experience going back looking through your trophy list and having a bit of reliving those moments. Thanks for watching. Peace.